What about turkeys? Just like the animal. They're so ugly.
I like them.
They're so ugly, Justin.
I'm into it.
Firstly, their head and all the saggy, multicolored skin,
The waddle.
the blue skin, it looks like an alien scrotum.
Alien scrotum. Okay.
What was that guy from Watchmen?
Dr. Manhattan.
It looks like Dr. Manhattan got old. The scrotum, Dr. Manhattan's scrotum became a bird. That's what a turkey looks like.
Okay. Well, you've ruined turkeys for me.
Well, good.
Thanks.
Because they are ugly and it deserves to be known and talked about.
It's fucking brick out here. Justin.
I know about popular Geoff.
And welcome to Bants. Geoff, happy almost Thanksgiving.
Happy almost Thanksgiving, Justin.
At time of recording, it's like a week away, but at time of release, it's tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow. I hope you're taking some time to be gathered with your loved ones around a roaring fire, Norman Rockwell style.
Do you have any big plans for Thanksgiving? You hanging out at home?
You already know what I'm doing. Listen, why do you always do this? You're like doing like a talk show. We got to be real. You know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving because you're gonna be home, and I'm having
fine. I already know what you're doing for Thanksgiving, Geoff. But why don't you let the listeners know?
Why do you?
What do you want? I'm trying to make conversation for the
Justin,
you're people
insane.
Here.
You're insane. Just be like, I'm excited for your party or something normal. Or be like, I can't wait to be home.
I'm asking you a question. That's the it's called prompting you.
I don't need a setup. I don't need a setup. Justin, I'm very excited for you to be home.
I will be home for the week of Thanksgiving.
Which will be so fun. I'm having my Night of 10 Charlie's party the day before Thanksgiving. Which I'm also fun. Excited for.
Yes.
That was a setup.
Well, the Night of 10 Charlie's, Geoff, can you maybe speak a little bit more on that?
Justin, I'd gladly talk about it. I, as you know, am a huge fan of The Real Housewives, and I saw the episode listing for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City this year, and there is an episode where they do the Night of Six Lisas, and like all of them are dressing up as one of the cast members of the show. And so they all have her brunette wig and her big sunglasses, and I was like, why don't we do a Night of 10 Charlies? The original idea was to do like everybody dress up as 10 different Charlie XCX looks, but then I realized not everyone's in the stand-up like us, so I tried to broaden it to all famous Charles or Charlottes.
Yes, anybody who can possibly be referred to as Charlie, basically.
Yeah, so we have some fun costumes coming. I've heard rumblings of Chucky Finster.
Oh.
I've heard rumblings of Charles Entertainment Cheese. I've heard about a Charlie or two.
Okay, interesting.
And maybe a little bit of royalty in the mix. So it should be an interesting showing for a party.
I'm excited.
And then we're all going to go out and do karaoke. It'll be so fun.
It will be fun. I always love going home for Thanksgiving Eve and meeting up with the gang.
You know what I'm sad about, though?
What's that?
This was, apparently, this would have been our last year to go to Margarita's and get our iconic corner booth.
I know. I saw this on, well, I was trying to find like an actual source on this that wasn't like the Groton Community Forum on Facebook.
The absolute rotten filth that is the Community Forum on Facebook.
Yes, I can't find like a solid source, but I will be devastated if this is true. And I do think it's probably true. You know, this kind of thing tends to go out on Facebook first, but...
Well, Justin, I am sad to inform you that it is absolutely true because the owner of that building is related to one of my or a former owner of that building complex is related to one of my former coworkers, and she had mentioned that they were trying to offload it a few years ago.
Wow.
So I know that it did change hands, and I'm not surprised that the owner is trying to get these people out to bump up the rent.
That is disappointing. Very disappointing.
It is disappointing. Guess what? The former owner of that building, I might be telling tales of the school, but I haven't named anyone, so it's okay. They are making a $9 million profit from the time that they bought that building to now. Crazy.
That's real estate, baby.
Our system's broken. Broken.
Hell yeah. Actually, hell no.
Hell no is exactly right.
Well, let's stop talking about the decay of our society and let's start talking about some hot topics. Geoff, I know you heard about this, but Beyoncé is playing the halftime show at the Christmas NFL game.
Yes.
How are you feeling about this?
I did not know that there was a Christmas NFL game. I didn't know that was a thing that happened on Christmas Day. Did you know this?
Okay, I'm by no means an expert, right, on NFL stuff. But Thanksgiving is a holiday that always falls on Thursday, right? So that, tracks in that you can have a Thursday night football game every Thanksgiving. Christmas obviously travels from date to date.
Yeah, just like Santa himself.
Exactly. So this year it's landing on a Wednesday, which is not a traditional day for an NFL game, but it might have something like maybe it's not every year because of that. That's my guess, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
What are the traditional nights for NFL games?
So there's usually a Monday night game.
Okay.
A Thursday night game.
Wait, sorry. I thought Monday night was college football.
Most college football is on Saturdays.
Oh, I'm very confused.
Typically there is a Thursday night game, then Sunday night. Sunday is the majority of games is on Sunday.
Sunday night in America. That whole thing?
You might be thinking, well, there's Sunday night football, but then the really big, like the marquee game is Monday night football. Usually they try to like make the best games on Monday night.
Monday night in America.
I really don't remember which song is associated with which game. I haven't watched a full NFL game since the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Whom amongst us has?
Well, I used to watch post-college. I would like hang out with people and watch all the games on Sunday.
This sounds like you're hanging out with a lot of straight guys.
Well, that is definitely true.
I'm sorry.
And women, straight girls as well.
Are straight women out here watching football?
Yeah. Yeah. Brandy used to love watching, like, that was like our ritual on Sunday was watching the football games at Disco House.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But was it a social... Okay, this is what I always wonder. Is it like a... Like, I get the appeal of watching something. It doesn't even really matter that much what it is in a group setting. But I'm like, are people at home alone watching their football game? And like, this is fun.
I mean, I am not doing that. Like, I am personally not. For me, it's a huge social thing. But I do think that there's a lot of people who enjoy... It's the same kind of people that enjoy, like, history and, like, statistics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they
it's
like
very
watching
dad-coded.
Football. Right, exactly. Like, I think it's just something that you can get into, right? And for people who are into it, I think maybe, like, the gateway is, like, the social aspect of it. And then as you get to know the sport better and better, you, like, start to like it by itself.
Super Bowl parties are the gateway drug of the NFL world.
Exactly. I have not really rolled over into like full-time NFL stan at this point. You know, I'm not getting like NFL Red Zone where I'm watching like 8 different feeds of all the games at the same time.
It's crazy the amount of channels dedicated to the NFL. Like, it's really crazy.
It is. And I mean, the NFL is an interesting institution because...
To say the least.
I think that it always feels like, despite its like cultural dominance in the US, it feels like it's always desperate to like get more viewers, right? Not to get into the Taylor Swiftification of the NFL, right? I am like, no shade to Taylor for showing up at Travis Kelce's football games. I think that's like being a great supportive partner. Props to Taylor. But you can't deny that the NFL like loves that she's there, right? Like they are please keep coming. We need the eyes from like young people and especially women. Like we need the audience, right? We can't just be like the dad sport.
Yeah.
This like decision to have Beyoncé be the performer at the Christmas show feels like another attempt, right, at trying to get more eyes.
And guess what? It's gonna work. It's gonna work. I'll be watching.
I'll also be watching. I mean, I'm curious. She said that she's gonna bring guests from Cowboy Carter to perform at the halftime show, so who knows who that could be, but that's very exciting. It's in Houston, right? So like also matches with her Texas heritage and
her hometown.
Yeah, her hometown, themes of Cowboy Carter, you know. So I think it's going to be, I'm very excited to see what this halftime show looks like.
Guess what? Tour announcement at the end of the show. I guarantee.
You think so?
I guarantee.
That would be hype.
Yeah, unfortunately, between like all the different tour announcements lately, I'm going to be extremely poor in the coming year.
Did you see that Charlie XCX recently announced a standalone Brat arena tour?
You know that I did, and you know that I did sign up for the pre-sale.
Only coming to New York, though. New York is probably the closest for both of us.
Yeah. Gotta go. 2 shows in Brooklyn back to back. Barclays, you think?
If it says Brooklyn, I think it's gonna be Barclays. Yeah.
Can't imagine it to be anywhere else. There's no other arenas in Brooklyn.
Not that I know of. It should be fun. I would love to get tickets.
We're gonna walk on to Atlantic Avenue, cause that's where Barclays Sanders is.
I'm a little bit worried about prices. Not gonna lie to you.
That's what I said. Okay, I'm willing to spend up to $300 for a ticket.
That's reasonable.
You know, is it? I mean, I know it is in this world, but is it reasonable? Like, philosophically, is it reasonable?
It's not reasonable for me personally. But that's like a normal price for a ticket these days.
It's awful. Well, speaking of Super Bowls, halftime shows, and tours, what about Kendrick Lamar's surprise album drop last night?
Yeah, at time of recording, Kendrick pulled a Beyoncé, actually, and surprise dropped an album. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's been like 11 years since Beyoncé first pulled a Beyoncé.
Whatever. He's a biter.
But yeah, he dropped a new album called GNX, which I believe is a reference to a model of car that was released the same year that Kendrick was born.
What about DMX?
What about him?
What about DMX's holiday Christmas song? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. Come on!
Iconic.
So iconic. Remember when DMX died?
I do. I saw his funeral.
Yes. You gotta tell us.
I saw, what's the name? The funeral procession, I guess. I saw, so Brandy and I were driving from New York to Connecticut. I forget why we were driving home. It was like probably just for some family thing. But we were driving home from New York to Connecticut, and on the highway, we were like, what the fuck is this traffic? Like, the traffic was stopped, like, on the northbound 95. And we were like, this is so annoying. Like, I bet this is Rubberneckers. And it turns out it was Rubberneckers. There was like some massive, like, monster truck going the opposite direction on 95 South. And then everybody was looking at that truck. And we were like, huh, that's weird. And then as we got home, I was just like opening up Twitter or whatever. And I saw that DMX had this huge funeral procession with like his body apparently being carried in this massive monster truck, which is so DMX.
So wild. Can you imagine your last will and testament? That's what your wishes are.
I mean, it's very in character for him. You know, he went out the exact way that he wanted to, I think.
Good for him. May we all have that solace.
But yeah, the Kendrick album. Have you listened to it? Have you heard any takes or any opinions about it?
No. Tell me about it.
Well, I've listened to it exactly once. I listened to it yesterday on my drive home from work. And
wait, I thought it came out overnight. It came out yesterday.
Came out like yesterday during the day.
Fry Dizzle.
Yeah, and I believe it was like a complete shock. I think that I saw a tweet from somebody in like it was like a music industry reporter, and they said that the record label owner, like the CEO, received the email from Kendrick like that morning saying like, here's the album, like zip file, put it out, basically.
Oh, wow.
The record label was like, I mean, all right, it's Kendrick, you know, he's kind of on a tear right now, post Drake beef. I think that any record label executive would be stupid not to put out an album from Kendrick at the moment. So yeah, the album itself, Kendrick stuff tends to be really lyrically dense. So I'm not going to pretend like I have an overall take on the album on first listen.
Sure.
In terms of sonic, like the sound of the album, a lot of similar production styles to what we heard on Not Like Us. It's a very like sample heavy, kind of like minimalist hip hop mid-tempo sound for a lot of the songs. Interestingly, Jack Antonoff is the producer on almost every song on this album.
Are you mad?
He's one of many producers on each song. So I don't really know what his role is, but I wonder if Jack Antonoff is entering his like elder production guy stage of his career where he just is like working with like the way that Rick Rubin worked with like Kanye in mid-career, you know?
I was just gonna bring him up.
Yeah. I think he might be entering that phase of his career. Maybe he's just like overseeing things and just giving like high level notes, you know?
What if he grows an extremely long beard?
I don't think he's that type of dude, but we'll see.
Come on, Rick Rubin did it. Maybe he will.
Maybe he will.
Oh my god, do you remember the Sunscreen song?
The sunscreen song.
Do you remember that one? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Maybe you'll wear sunscreen. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 50th wedding anniversary. The 90s were a wild time musically. Anyway.
But yeah, sonically, I wouldn't really know that Jack Antonoff was the producer on most of these songs just by listening to them. They sound a lot like Not Like Us, where it's like these stuttering, very like dry cut samples over like very simple hip hop drums. It also doesn't sound a lot like Kendrick's past stuff. I don't think he's really interested in like pushing the boundaries when it comes to production style. Most of the lyrics that I caught on first listen were in the same vein as Not Like Us, or he's being very braggadocious, you know, talking about how it's like he's the one saving hip hop, like it's him versus all these other like rappers who are like not really for the culture. Similar vibes.
Boring.
There are a couple of interesting songs where he does some classic Kendrick literary stuff where he's like playing multiple characters. Like there's a song called Reincarnation, I think, where he's like talking about how he's been reincarnated and like each reincarnation is a different character that he's rapping about. There's a conversation between Kendrick and like a godlike figure that he plays both parts. So there's a lot to dig into here. In terms of like drama stuff, I think the biggest bar is probably he talks about his relationship with Lil Wayne. So I don't know if you heard about any of the controversy about the Super Bowl halftime show and how Lil Wayne apparently was also in the running to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show.
What?
And you haven't heard about this?
No. That would have been crazy.
So backstory is that after Kendrick was announced, Lil Wayne apparently made not like a public statement through a PR professional, but at some point made some kind of statement about how he was upset that he wasn't chosen for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay.
And there's a bar in this album where Kendrick says, like, you know, I used to be like a huge fan of Lil Wayne. I used to like rock the Carter 3 all the time. I think the bar is something like, it's ironic that my success is like what's causing him to like back away from becoming friends with me or like, you know, staying loyal to me or respecting me or whatever.
It's a good thing you're not a rapper, Justin. Let's just say that.
I'm trying to paraphrase here, okay?
Point for me.
He does a I'm not mad, I'm disappointed in the direction of Lil Wayne, basically, where he's like, I feel like it's beneath you to be upset about this Super Bowl thing.
And they can't take it. Used to bump the Carter 3. I held my rolly chain proud. Irony. I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. Whatever though. Call me crazy. Everybody questionable.
But yeah, it should be an interesting album. I'm curious to see what the critical reception is. My first knee-jerk take is like, this is in the category of like Damn, which is I think 2 albums ago. It was the one that came out after To Pimp a Butterfly, which I think most people consider his like critical pinnacle, where it seems like he is just feeling himself a little bit and he wanted to have like a bit of a hype album.
Kendrick gives me that annoying kid in your gifted and talented program vibes. Like he's like very how do I say, self-assured to the point of being a bit of a narcissist. And also, like, very petty.
It's interesting. I mean, we talked about this a little bit back in the hip-hop episode, one of our first ever episodes, where we talked about the Kendrick-Drake beef.
I think I was there.
This is kind of what hip-hop is. Like, this is the culture of hip-hop, is to be braggadocious and to be a little bit narcissistic.
I don't like it.
To have beef, right? And Kendrick is like a hip-hop traditionalist. He believes that this is like an important part of the culture. He's like, this is what hip hop is, and I want to stick to that, you know? He's not really interested in moving the culture forward in as much as like, he's like, the people like Drake out here who are like moving it backwards, I'm preventing that, basically. He sees it not so much as things need to change in the hip hop community, but more like we have to stop this backslide in the hip hop community.
Boo, I'm so bored of it. So boring. I don't even really care about listening to his album, to be honest with you.
Well, Geoff, I, for one, am shocked to hear that. You've never expressed that before.
Well, let's move right along to other music things. How about Coachella?
Yeah, the Coachella lineup was just announced a few days ago. Have you taken a look at it yet?
I surely did.
Any hot takes?
Well, this is the first time I've been like, I want to go to there.
The first time ever?
Yeah, the
Really?
first time ever I've been like, I want to go to there. Justin, I'm not interested in going to Coachella. In general, firstly, the desert, it's hot. Indio is in the middle of nowhere. It's next to Palm Springs, like one of the most expensive places you could go. I cannot imagine that there's enough lodging that is reasonably affordable and comfortable to like go there for me to go there and enjoy myself. You know, I'm not camping. I'm absolutely not doing any of that. Even glamping, I'm not doing. I need running water. I need drapes and windows with shades and screens. I need a comfortable bed. I need running water. I'm not doing any of the glamping. I'm not doing rent a trailer. None of that. So I don't think I could ever afford to go because I know it's going to be $1 bajillion. But this is the first time I've been like, I want to go because what about Lady Gaga?
Yeah, I mean, okay, that was going to be my question to you. Like, I'm looking at obviously there's a lot of names on this lineup here.
Great
the three
names.
Headliners are Lady Gaga,
Mm-hmm.
Green Day, and Post Malone. Those are the 3 headliners for the 3 days.
By the way, boo to Green Day and Post Malone as headliners. What about Charlie being the headliner, not the second runner-up or first runner-up?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that I feel like these headliners are not really... I think usually Coachella likes to have at least one headliner who's like, they are putting out there as like, this is the new face of like, who's going to be big in music, right? These feel like very conservative choices for headliners. Except for maybe Posty, but...
Well, famously, the owners of Coachella are extremely conservative. Huge Republican donors.
Yeah.
I also don't like that, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to support them because of that. That's some bullshit.
Well, I'm sure that because you're boycotting them, they'll
learn their
the
lesson.
wallet. Yeah,
they'll make them think twice.
But yeah, I mean conservative in the.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It just feels like none of these are very surprising.
These were all very safe.
Charlie XCX being number 2 is like very predictable. You know, it's like, well, we gotta have Charlie there at Coachella.
Okay, you know what? Let's real quick mention that Glorilla, Missy, Lisa, and Megan Thee Stallion are also on that lineup.
Yes, we have a lot of pod faves who have been either episode topics or in our What's Goods. Yeah, who are going to be playing.
Or constant references. But also, let's talk about this. What about Charlie XCX's Times Square show?
Yeah, she performed a show, I think in collaboration with H&M,
yes.
Their Times Square location. Looked really fun.
I wish I was there.
It looked like it would have been a lot of fun, although being in Times Square does psychic damage to you for whatever length of time you're in there. So that's the only reason I may not have gone.
Times Square used Overwhelm. It was very effective.
Yeah, it didn't look very fun in that aspect. I have the same feeling every time I watch the New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square. I'm like, who would do this to themselves?
Right.
Why would you choose to do that?
Corralled like livestock, no bathrooms, crowded,
yeah.
COVID everywhere, sickness everywhere, PDA everywhere.
The other funny thing about the Charlie show in Times Square was that I was watching some of the videos on Instagram and there were just like normal cars just like driving through Times Square in the middle of the concert. I'm like, imagine being like a tourist who's in a cab in Times Square and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
I was laughing at one time because there was a clip on TikTok of her kind of like getting out of her zone for a second in the show. Because she like looked down and people were just like had their phones up and were not dancing or jumping. And she was like, come on. And, like, it reminded me of that video, you've probably seen it, of, like, when she's performing early in her career in Germany, and she's doing that song that she did with Iconopop. She's, like, jumping and screaming, and nobody in the crowd is really into it. And she's like, what the fuck? I thought this song was huge in Germany.
Yeah.
I love it.
Iconic, yeah.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to go to Coachella, like in theory, but it's across the country from us. It's expensive. And I gotta be honest, like you said that you wanted to go because of the lineup this year. For me, the lineup is not doing a ton. Like there's nobody on here where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna drop everything to go see this person or this group of artists, you know? The undercard, we talked about some of our faves being on there. That's great. But there's not a ton of people on the undercard where I'm like, oh, damn, that's a great poll. You know, like that's somebody that I would like to see. I don't know. I'm not like the top tier music critic out here, but seems like a mid lineup to me on first pass.
Yeah, there's like some nuggets, but it is like between the costs and everything and the travel, it's like this is not the year for me to go.
Yeah.
This is the first year I'm even entertaining the idea of like, I could get into that, but on the whole, not worth.
Also hilarious that they had Travis Scott as a alleged designer of the festival this year just to have his name on the lineup. Have you seen this?
No.
So at the bottom of the poster they have Travis Scott in big font, and then in subscript underneath it says designs the desert. It seems like they're literally just trying to get like the Travis Scott hype beast to like show up without having to pay him to perform.
I can't. How is he famous? He's not good. And he's literally Like, the fact that they're associating their festival with Travis Scott designing it, it's like, this man does not care about safety measures.
It is a weird choice considering, I mean, Geoff is, of course, referencing the Travis Scott crowd crush incident that happened, what was it, last year? Or was it 2 years ago?
I think it was, remember. I think it may have been even longer ago than that. But yeah, that's what Geoff's referencing. It is weird to be like, yeah, that guy is designing our festival. Bad PR. I would not allow it.
Travis Scott, I think, is arguably, maybe not culturally, but in terms of like commercial success, like one of the like top 3 rappers right now.
Sure.
I'm shocked we'd never talked about him during any of our hip hop conversations in the past because he is commercially up there with people like Drake and Kendrick.
Detestable.
But I think he draws a crowd that is very just into moshing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's that type of crowd.
And I hate that.
I have been to a couple of festivals where Travis Scott headlined, and let me tell you, the worst crowds I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
In my life.
Mm-mm.
It's almost exclusively like 20-something white boys straight out of college type vibes.
The worst people in the world. Worst people in the world.
So that's my general take on the Coachella lineup. Great for everybody who we love on there. Coachella, I think, is a huge cultural moment. So like when Beyonce, when people headline Coachella, that is a massive moment for their careers. But outside of that, I don't know if I'm dropping $1 bajillion to go this year.
I'm certainly not. But what about Sabrina and Chapel?
What about them? I love them both, of course.
Well, you tell me, because you put this on the list. And I famously did not click on the article to read it because my computer's on its last legs.
Okay, well, let me ask you a follow-up question, Geoff. Yeah, Have you heard about this Sabrina Carpenter Christmas special that is being released on Netflix next month?
No, I actually have not. So this is truly news to me that you just told me this. So I didn't know, but that's fun. But she has a Christmas song, like a Christmas version of her song Nonsense that came out a few years ago. And it's actually pretty fun. I listened to it last year.
I think that the name of the special is A Nonsense Christmas. So it must be referencing that song.
Yeah.
Basically, she announced it a while ago. I think that it suits Sabrina Carpenter's kind of like intentionally cheesy personality and persona to have a Christmas special.
Yes.
And she's having a lot of guests, including Tyla, Caliuchis, and, as you mentioned, Chapel Roan.
I love Caliuchis.
They recently released a trailer for this special, and it teases a duet of some kind between Chapel and Sabrina, which sounds like 2024, like pop girly wet dream, basically.
Oh my god, I could imagine them duetting I'll Be Home for Christmas. Can't you hear it in your head already?
I can, yeah. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a very fun time.
Justin, you do the Sabrina Carpenter vocal and I'll do Chapel Roan.
No, thank you.
What do you mean? Justin, you never sing with me, Justin.
Why are you giving me Sabrina Carpenter?
Because you have a little bit of a higher voice.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not a great singer. That's the reason why I'm refusing.
Well, Justin, it's all about
offer.
It's all about the attitude into it. What are you going to do for karaoke this week? That's what I want to know. What are you going to do?
I love karaoke, as we mentioned. I think my iconic choice is I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Yeah, that's so good.
I love that one.
Love.
Lots of like very high-pitched screaming, which I can almost never hit, but it's very fun to try.
It sure is.
I've been thinking about some alternative songs as well.
Ooh.
Are you familiar with the song Hanging by a Moment by Lifehouse?
Oh, of course I am.
Thinking about that one.
That's
a good one.
Oh, what about, remember that whole like era of music in like the like mid-aughts? Like 2005, 2006, 2007, all those bands. What about The Fray?
Yeah, The Fray. I mean, Over My Head Cable Car. Remember I did that at karaoke at
you did.
Allie's birthday party.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's another one I've been toying with. The great thing about those songs is that is like my vocal range because it's all just like normal dudes who decided to start a band.
Yeah, that's so true.
So like Matchbox 20 is in the same kind of category there. So I've thought about doing like Unwell or something.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely.
Mouse Rat type music. You know what I'm saying?
Mouse Rat, yeah. Would it be funny if you did an actual like karaoke cover of a Mouse Rat song?
Yeah, like 10,000 Candles in the Wind.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
That would be very funny.
You're not going to ask me what I'm doing?
I was just about to. I was going to say that's what I'm doing.
Oh.
And what are you planning on doing, Geoff? Any surprises that you're going to pull out your sleeve?
Well, Justin, as you know, and we will talk about this next week, but I did see Wicked last night.
Oh, boy.
Holy
Yes.
shit. It was so fucking good. And I've got to say, I did what can only be described as an amazing performance of Defying Gravity at Anna Reggae's birthday last year. I got a standing O.
Okay.
A standing O, Justin. So I might pull that out.
So now that the people know about Wicked, you're like, I'm going to pull that out.
Yeah, because now it's in the zeitgeist again.
It's going to be like Moana and Frozen.
This was back in February.
You know what Wicked is? It's like adult Frozen.
It is like adult Frozen. It surely is. It's Frozen for the millennials.
Yeah.
Like Frozen is for the Gen Z kids and the whatever comes after that. Like my cousin's kids love Frozen. Love Frozen. They can't get enough of the stuff. They love anything even tangentially related to Frozen, including ice, snow, ice cream.
I mean, I also love ice cream.
Who doesn't? But these kids fucking can't get enough of Frozen. The amount of times I've seen my little cousins dressed up as Elsa, I couldn't count them on two hands because there was so many.
Listeners, let it be known that Geoff was holding up both of his hands, all 10 fingers.
All 10 of my little piggly digglies.
Geoff has 10 fingers confirmed.
This confirmed. This just in.
But yeah, we're going to save some of that talk for next week because I also am seeing the double feature.
Oh, yeah, you're doing that today, right?
Wicked and Gladiator 2 later
Okay,
today.
is it Wickiator or is it Glicked?
I think what is in the culture right now is Glicked, although I do like a Wickiator. So we'll use them both. I think we'll use them both.
Wickiator, Glicked. Yeah.
But that's for next week. So until then.
That'll be next week, honey. And Justin will give you a full-ass review of my outstanding performances. Tony Award singer Adele Dazeem found dead.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back with today's topic, which is Thanksgiving foods.
Yes. Wait, but really quick first. Just one thing.
Okay.
Justin's giving me eyes of like, we are on a schedule. But I just got to say this, Justin. If I do decide to do a Wicked song, I would very much like for you to grab the second microphone, and I want you to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the wickedly talented Adele Dazeem." And then the song will start. Will you do that for me?
Okay, I can commit to that.
What about singing with me, Justin?
That's a no. I knew. That's
you
what
can be
I thought
Glinda.
you were
Come
gonna
on.
say. Absolutely not.
All right, fine. We're going on a break now.
All right, bye. And we're back. Geoff.
Yeah?
Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and we already had a bit of discussion about Thanksgiving in our Hot or Not fall episode.
Yes.
But I think today is a great day to talk about something we didn't really get into then, which is Thanksgiving foods, the meal itself.
I agree. And Justin, today's a great day to have a great day. What about that?
That is so true, Geoff. That's a great little mantra there.
That's my daily mantra. I say it to myself every day. It's actually on a sticky note in my bathroom mirror.
Is that true?
No, it's not. But
okay, that's good.
You don't like mantras on the mirror, Justin?
I like mantras, but I feel like I would not put it on my mirror. But, to each their own.
To each their own. I've thought about doing that, though. I thought about what if I need little reminders throughout my day. You know, my aesthetic is I'm pretty minimal in terms of art on my walls. I just don't really like busyness in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought about what if I put little notes in places that I open a lot, like my medicine cabinet, for like a little mantra, a little reminder.
A little surprise every time.
Yeah, a little surprise, a little happy reminder. You know what? I do have sticky notes up here that are like, speak from your throat, not through your nose.
Okay.
Because I'm famously very nasal.
What if you put little sticky notes with like inside jokes that only you understand in places?
Oh, Justin, I'd make myself laugh all damn day.
It's a great way of bringing your happiness level up,
Today's a great day to have a little private laugh.
Exactly.
Well, what about Thanksgiving foods, though?
Well, I think let's separate this into two categories.
Okay, tell me them.
Let's talk about what I think are generally considered like the canon. Like what foods are always eaten at Thanksgiving, and if they were not served at the Thanksgiving meal, it would not be Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then maybe a second category where we talk about potential controversial Thanksgiving foods that may or may not be considered canonical Thanksgiving foods.
Yes. Oh, boy, do I have opinions on that, and I know that you do too, especially after our group chat discussion this week.
Yes.
But that's for later.
That's for later.
Now's for talking convention.
Right.
De rigueur, as they say en français.
So let's start with what is obviously the most iconic Thanksgiving food, which is turkey.
Turkey lurkey.
How do you feel about that?
I feel great about turkey because when it's cooked well, okay, actually, now maybe I don't agree with that. You know what? My favorite thing about this podcast is I often make declarations that are immediately at odds with what I actually think. I was going to say turkey's great, but turkey's really not great. I would take chicken over turkey every single time. There's not a single time I'd be like, you know what? I actually prefer turkey. That's just not the case.
The only thing that turkey has going for it is that it's bigger than a chicken. So like for
Sure.
a large meal, it's like it produces more meat. I also think that the way that people cook it is usually
Bad.
not conducive to good quality meat.
Sure.
You know?
You know, the best turkey I've ever had?
Yeah.
My uncle deep fries turkey. Out in the yard, he's got a deep fryer with like a propane flame. He gets that bitch nice and hot, and then he dunks the turkey in for like 15 minutes. It's perfect every time. Crispy skin. Crispest skin you've ever seen. Just a hair away from being too cooked.
And juicy.
And so juicy.
I think that's the problem with turkey a lot if you're cooking it in the oven, which is I think like the traditional way to cook it, is that the breast gets really dry because it has to like overcook for all the dark meats to be properly cooked.
Well,
so it gets super
Justin,
dry.
that's exactly right. But here's let me put on my little Martha Stewart hat here for a second. I got a couple ways that you can cook a turkey without it getting dry. The first is roast it upside down. All those juices that usually are in the turkey breast travel down through the meat while it's cooking and then end up in the back. And the back of the turkey is actually very thin. There's like a very thin layer of like meat and muscle there. So if you turn it upside down, all those drippings kind of stay in the breast area. So that white meat never gets overcooked. So that's tip 1. Tip 2, we got to dry brine the turkey.
Brandy had a lot of takes on today's episode, by the way. She's definitely the cook of our relationship.
Yeah, where is Brandy? Where Brandy at?
She's out for a run.
Where Brandy at?
She actually said this morning before she left for the run, she was like, can I be on this episode? And I was like, well, you're going to be running. But she did mention dry brining the turkey.
Well, she made her choice then, I guess. She said running over podcasting.
She will choose that every time. She'll choose that every time.
She sure will, just like me and the chicken. But yeah, you got to dry brine the turkey because then you seal in the moisture. Salt and leave that turkey in your fridge uncovered. Make sure, however, that you don't have any other food producing odors in the fridge. Otherwise, your turkey meat will taste like that food.
Can I give a potential third tip?
Let me know. I want to hear it.
Spatchcocking the turkey.
Oh yeah, I love a spatchcock.
Which is essentially taking out like the spine and then flattening the body of the turkey so that it's a more consistent thickness throughout the body of the turkey so that they cook consistently. I've done that with the chicken before. It's probably harder with the turkey because it's much bigger. So like you got to make sure you have some kind of roasting apparatus that can fit the entire spatchcock turkey. But yeah, it's worked for me with the chicken. Seems pretty easy.
You know, my other thing is?
What's that?
I like to cover the turkey with a few layers of cheesecloth that are soaked in butter and oil. Because then you get really crispy skin. It's all about sealing the bird. It's all about sealing the meat. That's like why when I make like brisket or something, you have to like sear the meat before you put it in the mixture to like actually cook it. Because then it stays moist. Otherwise it gets so dry and tough. There's nothing worse than like a tough turkey when it's dry and just like piecey. Oh, I hate when the turkey's piecey, Justin.
Yeah.
Ugh,
it's tough.
So turkey is, it is a classic standby Thanksgiving food, but I wouldn't say it's like the best option for poultry.
It's finicky. And I will say I do somewhat understand like the theoretical purpose of the turkey at Thanksgiving because it is like a New World poultry, right? Like I think the turkey is something that's specific to the Americas and was not in Europe prior to...
I'm sorry, I'm laughing to myself because I just imagined like a whole new world, but it's like a pilgrim and a Native American, and they're flying on a magic carpet and like scooping up turkeys to cook.
I mean, Ben Franklin famously proposed that the turkey be the mascot of the U.S. instead of the bald eagle.
What about turkeys? Just like the animal. They're so ugly.
I like them.
They're so ugly, Justin.
I'm into it.
Oh, I gotta tell you 2 things about turkeys. Firstly, their head and all the saggy, multicolored skin.
The waddle.
The blue skin, it looks like an alien scrotum.
Alien scrotum. Okay.
What was that guy from Watchmen?
Dr. Manhattan.
It looks like Dr. Manhattan got old. You know when
got
the dick,
really
Justin,
old.
You know when the dick gets old, Justin?
You know, I don't personally know yet.
Well,
fingers crossed.
It'll happen. Everything falls, Justin. I do mean everything. And the scrotum gets extra saggy.
Going back to our conversation last week about boxers.
That's right. Oh yeah, no support. We're not having any of that. The scrotum, Dr. Manhattan's scrotum became a bird. That's what a turkey looks like.
Okay. Well, you've ruined turkeys for me.
Well, good.
Thanks.
Because they are ugly and it deserves to be known and talked about.
I kind of like turkeys. They're chill. They seem like chill birds.
Oh, no, they're absolutely not chill. This was the second thing I was going to tell you. My father, we used to live, back in the day, we lived on the edge of a bunch of woods. And our house was like, like our backyard suddenly became the woods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right on the edge here. My dad hated so much of the wildlife because they would come stroll into the garden and eat all of his hard work. And my dad's an avid gardener.
Right.
And we had beautiful vegetable gardens, flower gardens. It was his jam. That was my dad's like zen moment in his life, was like turning our backyard into like a garden. These animals would come in and eat the shit out of everything. Fall crops, early spring crops, summer crops too. And the turkeys were some of the worst culprits. So my dad out there, I think he was getting like the last of like our herb garden stuff out. For Thanksgiving, by the way. It was Thanksgiving time. He was
Ironic.
up there and he was getting like the tomatillos because those were growing late into the season. All kinds of good stuff. And the turkeys were coming out of the woods. And my dad was so mad at them because they had been coming in and eating all kinds of shit. He took the rake that he had in his hand and he threw it like a javelin at the turkey. Now, it must be said, I don't condone violence against wild animals or any animals. But these turkeys kind of had it coming. Justin, I have to tell you, it was Herculean, the throw that he did, like from probably 25 yards away to javelin and spear this turkey that was coming at him. You better fucking believe my mom, my brother, and I were standing in our kitchen looking out the window watching him do this. And we're like, oh my God, Dad, don't do that. That turkey, it was like fucking Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. That bitch went like this.
Let it be known that Geoff is slow motion turning to the side
he leaned,
as Neo.
He leaned to the side and leaned back. That rake went flying over where its head literally just was. And it fluffed up its feathers and fucking charged at my dad. It like literally attacked him. And you know what? I can't blame the turkey.
You know, I gotta be honest. I'm on the turkey side. I'm on the turkey side here.
I am too. But it was like honestly one of the funniest things I've ever seen. The turkey just like fluffed up its feathers and charged at my dad. Like
the turkey was like, "Bitch, you thought."
My dad, bitch, you thought. The turkey said, fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
My dad ran up the hill. I've never seen him move so fast in his goddamn life. He ran up onto our porch and shut the kitchen door behind him and locked it. And we were all screaming. We're like, what do you think the turkey's gonna like unhatch the lock? Turn the door handle? Clever girl.
Sounds like a 70s like B horror movie of some kind, like a Thanksgiving themed like trashy horror movie.
And now a close up of like the turkey's like feathered wing just like slowly turning the door handle.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was crazy.
I mean, that is a funny story, but turkeys are not as aggressive as like geese or swans.
Oh,
like
God.
Those birds will fuck your shit up for no reason at all if you're just
Mean
nearby.
birds. A swan broke my uncle's arm.
It happens. Like it really does. Yeah.
They're nasty.
But let's talk about some sides at Thanksgiving.
Let's talk about sides. You know, Justin, siding is the new position that people are doing instead of a top or bottoming, you know?
Is this like when you're feeling lazy and you're like, I don't really want to have to hold my own. Neither of us really wants to hold our own weight. So I'm just going to be we're both going to be on the side.
Well, I'm just saying it's a thing that people are doing these days. So, sides. Justice for sides.
Yeah, good for sides. Good for them.
What about stuffing?
Stuffing, similar to turkey, easy to fuck up because a lot of people put it inside the turkey and then it doesn't really get cooked properly. I think that if you do cook it separate from the turkey, or if you like put it in the turkey and then remove it and cook it in a certain way, it can be good. But yeah, it's called stuffing. At least my experience is that it's called stuffing because you stuff the turkey with it. And if you do that, it often doesn't taste very good coming out the turkey.
My family has never cooked stuffing inside of the turkey. I'm not into that. I think it's gross.
Yeah, I think it definitely comes out better if you cook it outside the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also just like, I think often an afterthought. So a lot of people will just do like those boxed stuffing mixes and like call it a day.
Boo boo. You gotta home make your stuffing. What about the people that call it dressing? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, it's interesting because dressing might actually more reflect the way that you make stuffing, which is not stuffing the turkey with it, right? Isn't that a more accurate name?
No, it's not, because I'm not dressing anything except for dressing down the folks who call it dressing.
Oh.
Bitch, you thought?
Okay, but what about mashed potatoes, though?
Oh, well, I have a lot of thoughts about mashed potatoes.
Okay.
I want no other potato other than the Yukon Gold or the yellow are suitable for mashed potatoes. Russet potatoes? Miss me with that.
Geoff, I gotta tell you, last year, I made mashed potatoes 4 separate times at Thanksgiving season. I was like the mashed potatoes guy.
That's a lot.
And this was because I had like multiple Friendsgivings. I also had like a work Thanksgiving thing. And then I also made it at home with like my family.
Popular. You know about popular.
And what's interesting is that I have tried in past years some more fancier recipes for mashed potatoes, including usually Yukon Gold. Or
more
fancier,
like everyone. This is Columbia graduate Justin Benavidez. More fancier. Great.
We all make grammatical mistakes every once in a while.
Not I.
I tried some fancier recipes, not necessarily crowd pleasers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, and this is going against what you said, I used russet potatoes. The key is you have to rinse the potatoes after they cook to get off excess starch.
Right, because otherwise it's like glutinous.
Exactly. And you add a shit ton of butter. And I found that this is actually the best way to make mashed potatoes for a crowd because it's super light and fluffy. Like, you wouldn't even know how much butter is in it. I think with Yukon Gold, they're a lot denser potatoes, and that's a good type of potato. I love that mashed potato as well. But I found that you can make really good, light, fluffy mashed potatoes with russets. And I'm just putting that out there.
Okay.
I essentially had a recipe workshopping session last year where I was making them repeatedly, like day after day.
That's very fascinating to me. So you used russet potatoes.
That's right.
Did you not find them to be slightly more mealy than the creamy Yukon Gold or yellow?
So the creamy Yukon Gold is creamier like by itself, right? And what you have to do is you have to somehow lighten it out. Otherwise it gets really dense. And especially if you're reheating it, which sometimes if you're going to a Friendsgiving, you got to make the potatoes, carry it over to somebody else's house and serve them. And it's getting a little bit colder and then maybe you reheat it. It ends up getting very stodgy, very like thick and pudding-like.
Sounds to me like you're not making it well.
No. Trust me, I workshopped this. Russet potatoes give a much fluffier, lighter texture. And you got to use a potato ricer, to mash them up instead of using something lesser like a potato masher, or just using a fork.
Hot, wet rice.
The ricer is definitely the way to go with the russet potatoes.
Well, I agree that a potato ricer is a wonderful thing, but what about a food mill? Even better.
Well, it's kind of like dough, where if you overmix it, then it gets super glutinous.
Yeah, you don't have to overmix a food mill.
You mean like you're cranking it and it's going down through?
Yeah, but you do a little bit at a time. Ricing and the food mill do the same thing, basically. But yes, I see. If you put a ton of it in the food mill, then it's getting overworked.
Well, the reason why a ricer is great is that you're not actually mixing it. You're kind of just pushing
You're just like cutting it,
small,
basically.
Right, exactly. So it's like the least possible glutination.
But here's the thing. You also got to cream your creams, your dairy, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got to like put it in a mixer or a bowl with a hand mixer and aerate the fuck out of it before you add it in. And then you basically fold it into the rice or processed potatoes. Then it stays nice and light, but still creamy.
Right.
And it doesn't get that gluteny starch paste texture. Ugh! Pasty potatoes.
Here's what I'll say. My point with this
Nasty.
is to say that I think there's two categories of good mashed potatoes, and I love both of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the creamier, like very dairy-heavy Yukon Gold category. And then there's, if you use russet potatoes, like the light, airy, fluffy variety, if you do it the right way, which is like making sure that you're taking out as much starch as possible by rinsing the potatoes, by ricing so it doesn't get glutinous, and adding a shit ton of butter for flavor.
Yeah.
And it still remains light and fluffy. And I like both of those kinds of mashed
What do you
potatoes.
do for spicing in the potato? Because I feel like the Yukon Gold and yellow potatoes have a lot more flavor than the russet. So I feel like you need to use even more flavoring additives for the russet.
Essentially, russet potatoes are just like a canvas
Sure.
for butter. You add a
Yeah.
shit ton of butter, you add salt, pepper, you can add some garlic, but it's really just a canvas on which you put whatever flavors you desire. I wouldn't add cheese because, again, that kind of messes up the light and airy texture. Some people like to add cheese to their mashed potatoes. But you can add like chives, for example, if you like that kind of thing.
Okay.
You can add garlic. Obviously, you season heavily with salt and pepper. You gotta.
Heavy seasoning.
But yeah, it ends up being very buttery if you do it right. And I think that's the trick to mashed potatoes. I think people are scared to add butter because of like health reasons. But it's Thanksgiving.
Please. Thanksgiving
Nobody
is
cares
not about
that.
healthy food and dieting. Sorry, it's just not.
And I'll also say,
Mhm.
potatoes, a great canvas for gravy.
True.
You got any hot takes about gravy?
I love gravy.
Gravy is my
Made
favorite
from the
thing
drippings of
all
your
time.
bird. Okay, I love to cook the turkey over a roasting pan on a rack. Because then not only are you getting the crisp all the way around from the skin being exposed to air rather than moisture, you're getting all the drippings that come off the bird naturally into the pan. Then you add a little white wine, add a little flour, maybe a touch of cornstarch, salt, pepper, mix. I also love to roast chickens over vegetables, and then like celery, carrots, parsnips, that kind of thing, and then blend that all together and make that into a gravy too. There's a lot of things you can do.
Geoff, how do you feel about pre-made gravy, like canned or jarred gravy?
It's fine for what it is. It's not my go-to. It's not what I like. I really enjoy cooking those. You might remember Chef Geoff back in the day.
Of course, Geoff. For those who don't know, listeners, Geoff used to be a TikTok influencer focusing on food content.
Mm-hmm. I would say micro influencer. I did have one video that went pretty viral. We got 16,000 likes on that video, but the rest of them were very, very modest viewership and commenting. I also had an influencer. Oh, let's talk about this. I wish I could remember that motherfucker's name, who literally stole word for word my content and tried to pass it off as his own. And he was a way bigger influencer than me. He has like 350,000 followers at the time that I did my video.
And did not credit you. Did not credit me. Literally stole word for word and stole my joke, which was funny and was controversial and was what was getting me views. And then I called him out on it in his comment and was like, hey, would appreciate a tag since you took my video word for word. And he fucking blocked me. Wow.
Fuck that guy. If you're listening, fuck you, dude. What a bitch move.
I bring up gravy and canned gravy specifically because...
Oh yeah, back to that. Sorry, I went on my diatribe.
Because Brandy has like a very hard ick when it comes to any like pre-made or store-bought gravy.
Sure. That's very on brand.
My family... I've told you, like, my family is not really on the cutting cultural edge. They're not chefs, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Generally.
I know your family.
My mom and dad would always just get, like, pre-made gravy and just, like, microwave it and, like, put it in the gravy boat and then call it a day. And Brandy finds that, like, the most disgusting thing.
Yeah, that's abhorrent to her.
She's like, why wouldn't you just make your own gravy? It's so easy.
It is easy.
It is really easy, and I just didn't know that until... I was like probably in my 20s that you could just like add flour and heat it up and call it a day. Like that is gravy. But yeah, I had no idea. So That's why I bring it up. I am not like opposed, although homemade gravy is like 10 times better. It's like significantly better tasting. And it doesn't have that like, I think that a lot of store-bought gravies have additives to keep the consistency over a long period of time so that the fat doesn't separate from the fluids, like the water-based liquids in the gravy, which gives it like a little bit of a weird texture too.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I don't love that. I mean, I get it. Some people don't have the time to do all this homemade cooking, so it serves a purpose. And it's like fine, you know? We've all had canned gravy before. It's fine. But the homemade is so much better.
It's good enough when you're spreading it over your stuffing and mashed potatoes and turkey.
Good enough. Right? Good enough. Yeah. It's kind of how I feel about like pre-made dressing.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, for some things, pre-made dressing is fine. Like a buffalo chicken dip, you don't need to be making your own ranch for that. Just add your ranch or your blue cheese dressing for that.
I hate ranch so much. We can't even get started on my rants against ranch. We simply haven't the time.
Not a Thanksgiving topic. We'll hit that later.
Another time, yeah.
Let's talk about our final category of canonical Thanksgiving foods.
Okay.
Desserts.
Okay. Wait, what about green bean casserole? Because you had that on the list.
Do you have opinions about green bean casserole?
I think it's fucking nasty and so rude. I'm not having a casserole. Casserole?
A casserole of any kind?
Nasty. I'm not doing it. Miss me with that. I like green beans with fried shallots on top and like some slivered almonds. That is delicious. That's a delight. But nasty ass casserole? Cream of mushroom? Campbell's cream of mushroom soup?
Yeah, that is, speaking of canned products, that's what the canonical green bean casserole is. So for those who maybe are not US based, or maybe like, I think this might be like a US specific dish, and especially like Midwest, but it's literally just like often canned green beans too. Like pre-cooked canned green beans mixed with like an entire can of cream of mushroom soup Campbell's, and then like those pre-fried shallots on top, and you kind of just bake it.
Nasty.
I'm not really a fan, even though I do think that's like a canonical Thanksgiving food. I think it's like thought of as a Thanksgiving food. I saw a stat that like 30% of all Campbell's cream of mushroom soup sales are specifically to make this casserole.
That's so nasty and so rude. It's dork-sided.
Throwback to Wife Swap.
You know what? I actually found out that was not the name of it.
What was it?
This was Trading Spouses, the off-brand Wife Swap. But yes, so Trading Spouses Meet Your New Mommy is the full title of the show.
Wow, quick correction there.
I know, right? Self-correction. Point for me.
Now that we have trashed green bean casserole.
Yeah, gross.
What about desserts? What would you say is like if you had to choose one, like the Thanksgiving dessert?
Unpopular opinion, apple crumble.
Apple crumble, not even pie.
Nope. I like pie, but I prefer crumble. Pie dough is sometimes like too doughy and doesn't like quite cook all the way. The thing is that I think a lot of people don't par cook their pie crust, and you kind of need to do that. You need to like par bake it so that it's not soggy on the bottom and falls apart when you try to serve it, and you have like kind of raw-ish dough because all the moisture stops it from really cooking, and that's yucky, so I don't like it.
So that's your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Apple crisp, apple crumble, yeah.
So what would you say is like when you think about the idea of Thanksgiving, like what is like the canonical Thanksgiving dessert?
I think a lot of people think of like pumpkin pie, apple pie, and also cheesecake.
Ooh, cheesecake. That's an interesting one. I feel like pumpkin pie is the one, right? Because like when else are you eating a pumpkin pie? It's really only Thanksgiving.
Do you know why though?
I just assume because pumpkin is like a symbol of fall, and Thanksgiving is a fall holiday.
Because it's not good. That's why. That's why it's the only time of year you eat it.
Yeah, we had this conversation basically during our fall episode, but it's really not a pumpkin pie. It's kind of just like a pumpkin spice pie.
Mm-hmm. Spice pie.
Right. In the same way as mashed potatoes, the pumpkin is kind of just a canvas for the warm spices that go into the pie. If only. Get high as fuck eating the pie after Thanksgiving.
That would be kind of great. Become high as fuck and have prophetic visions.
Yeah, foresee the fall of our empire.
It's coming closer.
Yeah, I kind of like pumpkin pie, though. I have a soft spot for it. I think that it can be
Do you think
bad.
It's just nostalgia-based? your
I do.
soft spot? Yeah, because it's like really not great.
It's not actually that good, but it's not bad. Like, I think it's probably the most consistent pie you can make. Like, I think that it's pretty hard to fuck up a pumpkin pie.
How do you make a pumpkin pie filling? Like, what's in it? Because, like, I think honestly, like, my family still does like a pumpkin pie filling thing.
Well, even Brandy, who, like I mentioned, she has a whole thing about homemade gravy and homemade everything. She likes to do. Her family makes everything from scratch as much as possible. Like, she'll even make her own pie dough.
Yeah.
Most Thanksgivings. But she uses Libby's like canned pumpkin filling for her pumpkin pies when she makes it. So like even Brandy, who I think is like, again, pretty high level chef and baker, she I think uses like canned pumpkin filling. And I think that's what probably most people use.
Yeah.
I think if you're really like roasting actual pumpkin for your pumpkin pie, that's a little extra, you know?
I feel like if I was tasked with making the pies, I would do that. But I think I wouldn't just use pumpkin as we've discussed. I think I would use like those sugar pumpkins and use like butternut squash.
Ooh, butternut squash.
For extra color too and flavor. It's got a nuttier flavor. Delicata squash. And I think I'd puree all of that together with the spice. Allspice, ginger, cinnamon. Why do I do this every time I'm going to name them? And then I'm like, I can't remember them all. Ginger.
Ginger, yeah.
Clove. Cinnamon. Allspice.
Maybe a little anise.
Nutmeg.
Anise.
Nutmeg. That's the other one. Those are the 5. Of all the girls here, who would be the 5?
Okay. So those are the canonical Thanksgiving foods, I feel like. So let's talk about some controversial Thanksgiving items. First, what about substituting the turkey with the Thanksgiving ham?
No. Next. Point for me. That's not happening.
Some people love this.
No. What? What are you talking about?
People who are like, the same people like us who are like, turkey's overrated. They're like, just do a ham.
What the fuck? I've never heard of this. Ham is an Easter food or Christmas food.
Or Christmas. I agree. I'm with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying that there is a population of people who like to substitute.
I've never heard of such a thing. These are lies. These are vicious lies.
Even when I was a kid, my sister used to hate turkey, and my mom would get like a small ham to cook alongside
Just
the
for
turkey.
Jessica?
Just for Jessica. Yeah.
Damn, princess. That's princess power.
Yep.
She said, I'm not eating that. Get the dry bird off my plate, bitch.
I also don't think that most hams are like good. I think they're
hams are yucky, so salty.
Very salty.
So salty. Yuck,
and I love salt. I'm a big salt guy.
Big salt boy over here.
But hams are not it for me. So yeah, I'm glad we agree on that.
No, that's not a thing. That's crazy foolery. You know what I would like? If I was ever like actually rich, I had a kitchen and then I had a scullery off my kitchen, that had like an extra fridge and extra range, that kind of thing.
I don't even know what a scullery is, but it sounds great.
Bitch, you don't know about real money. You don't know about real money, bitch. This is the thing. Wealth is always wasted on those who have no taste. I would look so good rich, Justin. You don't even know. I've got stuff going on. I've got ideas and plans. But if I was ever so rich, I had like a kitchen with a true scullery attached to it. You know what I would do instead of turkey for Thanksgiving? Each person gets a Cornish hen. You get a hen. You get a hen. You get a hen.
Like Game of Thrones feast type vibes.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And guess what else I do, Justin? Just like you said, magnolia. Boughs of magnolia down the center of the table with candles. I would have oranges, sliced, dried, orange slices, all the way down the middle, on top of the magnolia boughs. Fairy lights. And cut open pomegranates with the seeds, spilling all over the table. It's perfect because you know what? If you want a little something extra, you can eat part of the centerpiece. How about that?
Sounds beautiful.
Cornish hens and lavish fruit displays for everyone.
Damn. Geoff, currently seeking investors for this vision.
Currently seeking investors and or an elderly spouse with a lot of money.
bantspod@gmail.com.
That's right. Right in. But there's some other controversial Thanksgiving foods, one of which came up this week in our group chat, and we have to talk about this because I was shocked at the differing opinions.
Yes, I think this might be the most controversial food topic we've ever had in our group chat, so I'm excited to break it down here. Deviled eggs. Geoff, first of all, can you describe what a deviled egg is?
A deviled egg is a nasty, gelatinous, hard-boiled egg that is overcooked very often, and the yolk turns from like a wonderful golden color to this nasty light yellow-green, Crayola crayon yellow-green color, and it reeks of brimstone and sulfur, and then people put all kinds of fucking paprika or hot pepper on top of it, so guess what? Then it's like you're eating Satan's asshole. I'm not interested in that.
I'm going to push back a little bit on this as this podcast,
nasty.
Deviled Egg Defender.
Yeah, nasty.
Here's what they actually are.
Uh-huh.
A boiled egg,
yeah,
where the yolk, they're cut in half and the yolks are removed and mixed with usually a combination of things, including like mustard and mayonnaise to make it into like a fluffy texture.
Gross.
And seasonings as well. And then they're put back into the hole where the yolk came from on the sliced boiled egg.
And often green because they're overcooked.
Yeah, if you make them badly.
Oh, and guess what? You know that white gelatinous part that's supposed to be pristine? The egg whites?
Mm-hmm.
Often turns like a nasty bluish color right around where the yolk was.
Yeah, again, if you overcook it.
Rancid rot.
Listen, I love a deviled egg.
Ugh.
I just like it. I'm sorry. I know that it's not...
I'm sorry, too.
I'm sorry it's not a cool food to like, but I am having... If somebody is giving me a deviled egg...
It has nothing to do with being cool. It's nasty.
It's not. It's not nasty. It's good.
It really is.
I'm sorry to be speaking truth here, but it really is good. And I am not the only one. I think that our group chat is split on whether people like deviled eggs or not.
I actually don't think it's split. I think I was like in the minority of people who think that deviled eggs are gross. I think Anna and I were just loud protesters, so it made it seem like our cause had more support behind it.
That's probably true. I think there is a silent majority of people who think that deviled eggs are good, but I think they're not a cool food to like. You know what I mean?
They're certainly not. It's like white people coming to the picnic.
Oh yeah.
They're bringing nasty tray of absolutely boo-boo butthole smelling sulfur eggs.
Are they always good? No, oftentimes they're overcooked. But taking the yolk out and mixing it with these lighter materials makes it so that they're not as dry as they would be in the normal boiled egg. You know what I'm saying?
Ugh,
it makes it more palatable.
Gross. It's so gross.
And then the topic that brought this whole thing to head was whether or not deviled eggs are a Thanksgiving food.
Absolutely not. I will die on this fucking hill. If I was hosting a Thanksgiving and somebody came in with deviled eggs, I would literally open the door and throw them outside into the yard and let the birds feast upon them.
Here's what I'll say is that I don't think that they're a Thanksgiving food. I think they're in the same category as something like mac and cheese, where it's like mac and cheese is often brought to Thanksgiving. But if you don't have mac and cheese at a Thanksgiving meal, it's not like ruining the day. Like, it is often served at Thanksgiving. In the case of deviled eggs, it's usually served like before the meal as like an appetizer.
Ugh.
Because you can pre-make them and they're cold.
Oh my god, that's the thing that's so nasty about them. That's the nastiest part, is that it's cold gelatin. It is so gross. I can't get over this. You all are dark-sided and like troubled deeply in your psyche if you think this is good.
Okay, so it's okay. I think I've discovered what you don't
I would
like
rather you
about this.
all take like spoons of like mustard with paprika on it and eat that as like an appetizer. Like a mustard
gross.
shooter.
But that's gross.
Why is that gross? But eating cold fucking hard-boiled eggs is not.
Okay, cold hard-boiled eggs is like a normal food, like egg salad.
No,
I'm
it's
assuming you also
not.
don't like egg salad.
No, it's disgusting.
Okay, so this is just a problem. This is something that you have with cold eggs.
It's a texture thing. It's a temperature thing. It's a smell thing. They smell like sulfur.
I think that's usually when they're overcooked.
They smell like sulfur all the time. Oh no, Justin, I won't hear of this. People have been like, oh, these are perfect. These deviled eggs are so good. They lift the fucking top off of it. It's like instant funk. I feel like when SpongeBob ate his sundae and Patrick's eyebrows were burning off. That's what this is like.
I'm thinking like when Pepe Le Pew smells a female skunk. He's like, oh yeah, I smell the deviled eggs over there.
Shelly.
I will be having 1 or perhaps 4 of those.
That is gross. This is why I'm single. If somebody this is one of the many reasons I'm single, because I'm like, if my partner ever ate deviled egg, that was one of many. But if my partner ever ate a deviled egg, I just don't think I'd ever look at them the same.
You'd be like, divorce.
I would be like, the taste level is simply not there. And I'd also be like, go brush your teeth before you come within a foot of me.
So this is like an ick for you. Is anybody eating any kind of cold boiled egg product?
Justin, I'm literally feeling like nauseated by the thought of that. That is so gross.
I'm sorry. Well, I think we've discovered why you don't like deviled eggs.
Yeah, we gotta move on.
I actually agree with you that it's not a Thanksgiving food, but it is served oftentimes before the Thanksgiving meal.
I'm like burping.
Okay, moving on. Last thing we'll talk about before we break for what's goods. Cranberry sauce. You may have noticed that it was missing.
Pass the cranberry sauce. We're having mashed potatoes. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being there.
Okay, we're done. I don't know what that was. What was this referencing?
Bob's Burgers.
Oh, I've never watched Bob's Burgers. Haven't watched a single episode.
Never watched it?
Never watched an episode.
Okay, Justin, I suggest you do yourself a favor. I'm not saying watch the whole series because, like, I haven't even done that. But what I do like to do is watch the Bob's Burgers, like, holiday-themed episodes around the time of that holiday. Like, I just watched, they have, like, 3 Halloween episodes. So funny.
Okay.
Watch the Thanksgiving episodes.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's good. But cranberry sauce. Mm-hmm. This is a controversial one because I think often people don't like the canned stuff. The stuff that's pre-made. You know, you open the can, it slops out with that sound.
Yeah.
And
plop, plop.
It's like in the shape of the can that it was in, like little ridges.
Oh, you get the ridges on the can. People love that Ocean Spray. That Ocean Spray brand cranberry sauce.
Obviously, if you homemade the cranberry sauce, it's better. This is one of those things where Brandy is like, yeah, you gotta make your own cranberry sauce. It's not even that hard. But how do you feel about the canned stuff?
I don't think it's good. It kind of is like, you ever have like Jello shots where there's like slightly too much alcohol in them, and so they never like fully gelatinized, and they're sort of just like wet goo? They're
always weeping like pure
weeping.
Ethanol. Yeah.
Yes. That's sort of how like the same like texture of like the cranberry sauce from a can. But cranberry sauce is another thing. It really is so easy to make. You basically just like throw your cranberries in a pot and you add some water or like orange juice and spices, and it's so easy, and it
just makes itself. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do really much of anything.
The cranberries are so high in, I think it's pectin. It's like the equivalent of gelatin where it thickens the solution.
Exactly. It thickens.
So you really just cook it.
And it's got a nice texture. It's yummy. It's tart and bright. And especially if you add like, and I'm talking, when I say orange juice, I'm talking like actual juice of an orange, not like you go and get your Minute Maid and pour it in.
Right.
That citrus really brightens it up. And I think you need that in a lot of Thanksgiving, because a lot of the food, honestly, with Thanksgiving is like generally bland unless you season it well, and we all know most people don't season their food enough.
Brown mush, basically.
Yeah,
most of it's brown mush.
The bland brown autism diet is what Thanksgiving is all about. So we need to have something bright and tart and have something full of lively flavor, and I think homemade cranberry sauce is the move.
That like juxtaposition between those two categories of food is what actually makes the canned stuff like not that bad, because like compared to the bland stuff that is usually served at Thanksgiving, like it's the only sharpness, you know?
Yeah.
So I do similar to pumpkin pie. I have like a nostalgia for like the cylindrical, like can shaped stuff, just like cutting it with a nice butter knife and getting like a
slice of cranberry sauce.
a slice of cranberry sauce. I have some kind of.
It's very giving the Grinch.
Yes.
That mid-century kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, like 1950s, the obsession with like Jell-O, right?
Jell-O, yes, molds.
We talked about Great British Bake Off last week. The Brits still have an obsession with everything gelatin.
They really do.
I feel like you and the Brits should like fight over all of these like weird blood pudding type stuff.
We're at war already. It's a cold war, Justin, but it's there. It's happening.
You're fighting it. The Brits don't know it's happening.
They don't know what's happening, but they're in for a surprise one of these days.
All right. Well, I think that's all the foods we wanted to talk about today. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Wait, I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Brussels sprouts belong on the Thanksgiving table.
I think that is increasingly becoming a canon item on the table.
Let me tell you about this, Justin. I got a couple other ideas now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I love Brussels sprouts. Okay, pan-seared Brussels sprouts with a little bit of balsamic vinegar, olive oil, seasonings, pancetta. How could you go wrong? Especially if you shave those bitches a little bit. I love to quarter the Brussels sprouts and then take a handful of them and shave them. Throw those in the pan first to let them get extra crispy. Then you can throw in some shallots, your olive oil, let them fry a little bit. Then you can throw in a little bit of white wine to deglaze. and then you throw on top the rest of the quartered Brussels sprouts and the balsamic vinegar, and that'll stop it from sticking to the pan as much. And then you pour it out on a dish, and then you roast the dish for like 10 minutes. Perfect.
You know what's interesting is that I feel like Brussels sprouts for a long time had a really bad rap. People did not like Brussels sprouts, right?
You know what? That's so true.
And I was one of those kids that was like, I can't eat Brussels sprouts. And what's funny is that they do have like that sulfuric, farty smell to them because they're basically little tiny mini cabbages.
Oh, please. You know what? The people who are fucking against Brussels sprouts want deviled eggs instead. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, here's what I'm saying.
Grow up, you bunch of babies.
The same people that were making deviled eggs are the same ones who are like steaming Brussels sprouts.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
No.
And I think that's why. I think that's why they had a bad rap. So like now people know how to season them, like maple glaze, add some pancetta or some other kinds of like salty meats like bacon or something. Ways to make them palatable and tasty.
Yeah.
And I also think I've seen some reports about Brussels sprouts themselves have gotten less bitter. Like we now have new varietals that are less bitter than the ones that we were eating when we were kids.
Yes.
So I mean, they've been making a comeback for years now.
Selective breeding. Bene Gesserit. The Bene Gesserits infiltrated Big Brussels Sprout.
Hell yeah.
And they said selective breeding, bruh. We gotta get rid of that bitter cabbagey nastiness. But also, what about this? Seafood at Thanksgiving, Justin. Just like the Pilgrims did.
This is an interesting one. I love seafood.
This is a very Northeastern thing.
Right. I think that there are a lot of people who don't like seafood.
There are. And to them, I also say, grow up, you bunch of babies. Seafood's delicious.
What kind of seafood are we talking about?
How about oysters for appetizers? There's nothing better than coming into like the crushed ice bed of oysters sitting on top of them. A little horseradish or Worcestershire sauce next to it. A little bit of cocktail sauce. And what? Lemon wedges. I like my oysters just with a little lemon juice. That's it. I don't add any of the other stuff. But that is a delicious, divine, and elegant Thanksgiving appetizer.
Definitely unconventional. I like oysters myself, but
what do you mean unconventional?
It is. I'm not arguing with it. I think it's
you
a
ain't
good
a
idea,
true Yankee. You ain't a true Yankee then.
No, I love oysters. It's just not. They're not usually served at Thanksgiving.
I would say that is true. It's not Norman Rockwell's version,
right,
of Thanksgiving, which I think is a very like. Norman Rockwell was not a Yankee. Norman Rockwell was from like upstate New York, I do believe, the Hudson Valley. But if you live on the coast and your family grew up on the coast for generations, like my mom's side of the family did, oysters at Thanksgiving for an appetizer, that's a damn delight. And what about seafood stuffing? Have you ever had that?
I think I have, actually. I think maybe somebody in Brandy's family made a seafood stuffing.
Of course, Brandy's family did. I'm not surprised in the least. Another bunch of Yankees.
Yeah, they're true Yankees. Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Very tasty.
Quahog, little bits of your delicious clam, purple shell variety.
It's almost in the same vein as like a clam fritter in some ways, right? Because you've got like the bready like dough parts of it and then little crumbs of tasty seafood bits.
Man, I gotta tell you, I'm fucking rock hard right now thinking about seafood stuffing. I could bore a hole in this desk.
All right, well, we'll let you do that, and let's take a quick break before we come back.
All right.
With our What's Goods. Have fun, Geoff. And we are back.
Well, Justin, we talked about a lot of things. My absolute detestation of deviled eggs.
And I pushed back on that.
And you're wrong to do so, point for me. We talked about canned cranberry sauce, Berk.
Kind of like it.
You were so nasty and dark-sided. We talked about pumpkin pie. Also
kind of like it.
You know, if anyone out there is interested in co-hosting the pod with me, write into bandspot@gmail.com or comment, get rid of Justin, #get rid of Justin. We talked about different various ways of cooking turkey that are much more delicious than getting a dry breast.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Sabby C and Chapel doing a duet. and a Christmas special. We discussed Coachella's somewhat mid lineup. We talked about the surprise. I feel like Barbara Walters. We talked about the surprise drop of the Kendrick Lamar album and Beyoncé's Christmas halftime show. And now, Justin, it's time to ask you a little question I like to end all of my interviews with. And Justin, that question is, what's good?
Well, Geoff, I'm going to talk about some music today for my What's Good.
I'm Barbara Walters.
Well, Barbara, I'm going to talk about some music today for my What's Good.
Excellent.
It's a new release from the pop trio Junior Varsity.
I've never heard of them. Junior Varsity. Tell me about them.
So Junior Varsity is a trio. They were originally actually a duo. It used to be two guys, Greg Aram and Zach Michelle. And they had put out a couple EPs prior to this one, just featuring that lineup. I found them at that stage of their career, especially through this song that they had called Pre-Made. That was like one of my favorite songs of the last few years. It's just like this great hybrid of like kind of indie pop rock with like hip hop influence a little bit. Very nostalgic sounding, kind of hard to describe. It captures that childhood-ish energy of like pop punk, from like maybe the 90s.
Hence the name Junior Varsity.
Exactly. Like high school energy, right?
Nostalgia.
Right, very nostalgic. But they added a female vocalist, Brooke, probably pronouncing her last name wrong, Danaher. Brooke Danaher as a female vocalist to the group, making it a trio. And following that addition, they put out this new EP called My Star.
And how do you think that adding a female vocalist changed the dynamic of Junior Varsity?
Well, that's a great question. I think that like Junior Varsity prior to this edition had a very like dudes rock type image, It had this kind of like the album art for their EP, which Pre-Made was on, was like a guy with like a buzz cut shaved head, Apparently their live shows are known for like a lot of jumping around and moshing and like masculine energy.
Violence.
Yeah, like light violence. And I think Greg and Zach, the two male members of the group, were not necessarily vibing with that. And they were like, I kind of want to write songs and make music that has a different energy than that. And they added this new vocalist, Brooke. And I think that it adds a lot more like, again, a lot more of that more nostalgic, like childlike energy to their music instead of moving it more towards like the hard stuff, right? So this EP has a lot of like very simple love songs, essentially. It manages to hit this like really nice boundary between being nostalgic without being too cheesy or going across the line into being like trite, right? I think that it's easy for bands, if a band's goal is to like hit nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia, it's almost never good. But I think if they're going to hit like an emotional note that leads to nostalgia, that's like the way to do it. And I think Junior Varsity manages to like take their many influences and distill it down to this sound that's like unique, nostalgic, and really fun to listen to. Couple of songs to highlight from this EP. First one is Cross the Street, which is the first song off the EP. It's the lead
Crossing
song.
the street, an everyday activity, served as inspiration for this lead single. Tell me about it.
And like a nostalgic activity, like how many times when you were a kid, like a very young kid, like were you taught how to cross a street, right?
Look both ways and hold hands.
Exactly. And there's this really cool kind of like, again, nostalgic music video of Brooke, who is like kind of doing cheerleading moves, and there's like kind of these female-led gang vocals alongside these like male-dominated vocals, and there's this like call and response thing going on, and it has the energy of like a pop rock song from that era, very lo-fi sounding. There's a producer who I really like. I forget what his actual name is, but he's the lead singer of a band called Daywave.
Gay wave?
Daywave.
Oh, anti-LGBTQ, I see.
I wouldn't characterize Daywave as being anti-gay, but
Well, that's not what I heard.
he makes really cool pop rock music that's very nostalgic and kind of like vibey surf rock type stuff. And he produced a few songs on this EP, and this first song, Cross the Street, was one of the ones that he produced. So it was kind of a nice melding of different things that I already liked, Junior Varsity and Daywave, into this cool song. Very fun, lighthearted, energetic song. The other one that I want to talk about is the title song, My Star. This one heavily features the new vocalist Brooke, and it starts out with just her vocal before this like very atmosphere setting tone comes in slowly from the background and rises up in the background until the rest of the instrumental comes in. Drums start to come in.
I feel it coming, feel it coming. It's killing me, it's different, filling me up.
And at the end of the song, there's even like this nice little like, it sounds cheesy because it like goes right to the level of like Saccharin, where it's like maybe a little bit too sweet. But it has this xylophone that matches the melody of the vocal as like the outro. Super like childlike, nostalgic vibes.
It's giving Rugrats.
Little Rugratsy, you know? But I love Rugrats.
Of course. Close to the heart.
It is, yeah, maybe the ballad of the EP and one of my favorite songs off it. So yeah, check out Junior Varsity. The EP is called My Star. I think it came out a couple weeks ago, but I've had it on repeat for the last few weeks.
And I wonder, Justin, do you know how Junior Varsity's latest album is charting on the Billboard Hot 100?
Well, it's an EP, so it's not a full-length album. It only has 6 songs.
I see.
I don't think it has had much mainstream success, but I've seen them like on being featured on a few blogs. You know, they're being playlisted on Spotify, like New Music Friday type stuff. So yeah, I mean, I hope more success for them, but they're definitely not mainstream at this point. I don't think they're charting on Billboard.
Though commercial success does not seem to be in their near future, a glowing review from Justin Benavidez nonetheless. This is 2020, and now I have to go.
Thanks, Barbara.
Wow, it's amazing that we pulled Barbara back from the grave for this episode.
Incredible, yeah.
Even though it was a short feature, I think it really kind of was a cherry on top.
I thought the Halloween was over, but I guess not.
Nope, not at
ghosts.
all. The veil has thinned out and she's now gone. What about cherry pie on Thanksgiving? Is that a thing? Do people like cherry pie?
Isn't cherry pie more of like a summer pie? I always associate cherries with summer.
I don't know.
Interesting questions.
What about pecan pie or pecan pie? Do you say pecan or pecan?
I
kind of say both. Yeah, me
I
too.
switch.
They might say that we're switch hitters.
Okay.
Means different things in different circles. Talk about sides.
Different contexts. Yeah. But I think that is like a canonical Thanksgiving pie that we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
So nice pull.
There's a lot of great pulls at the end of the ep. That's why you got to listen all the way through every week.
Speaking of the end of the ep,
yeah,
the last thing we have to discuss before we close today is Geoff.
Oh,
what's good with you this week?
Wait, did you hear that?
No.
Justin, I think someone's at the studio door. Could you answer it? Oh wait, actually, why don't I get the door?
Okay, go for it, Geoff.
Okay. Hello? Oh my God, Barbara, it's great to see you. Thank you for agreeing to interview me for my What's Good.
Am I supposed to be Barbara Walters now?
Yeah, of course, yes.
I don't know. I can't do a Barbara Walters impression.
And this is why you'll never make it an improv. Oh boy.
Good thing I'm not going for a career improv.
Okay.
I thought you might try to do both characters, and that would be really entertaining for me.
I was not going to do that. I was trying to set you up this time.
Okay, well, I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, Geoff.
Yeah.
What's good with you this week?
Well, Justin, as discussed at the top of the episode, I saw Wicked last night, and I have to say, I know we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I just am saying, if you love yourself, you need to go buy a ticket to see this movie. Even if you're not into musicals, it's incredible. Incredible.
I'm excited to watch.
There are things about it that I would have liked to be slightly different, but the performances in that movie, incredible. Ariana Grande, if she does not win the Academy Award for Best Actress for this movie, I will be absolutely floored. There was so much depth.
The Academy does love musicals, so I'd
Yeah.
be surprised if it wasn't nominated based on its critical reception.
Yeah, I mean, Cynthia Erivo was excellent too, but Ariana Grande was just, like, she was born for this role and nobody else could have done it. It was great. So good. So, watch Wicked, but also I want to talk about a show that we mentioned before on the pod that premiered last week called Dune Prophecy.
And I'm very excited to watch this show too, Geoff. What did you think of it?
Dune Prophecy, there's only been one episode out so far. The second one at time of recording is coming out in 2 days on tomorrow, Sunday. That's a football thing, right?
Sure.
I think it is. Wow, we talked a lot about the NFL this episode too.
We did.
And football. It's too bad that Barbara didn't mention that. But yeah, Dune Prophecy was really good. This is the show that is set 10,000 plus years before the birth of protagonist of the Dune film series, Paul Atreides, played by Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet.
Of lookalike contest fame.
Lookalike contest fame. It is still so funny that happened. I love it. And it is, in that way, like a...
prequel.
Yeah, thank you. I kept thinking preamble. Is a prequel to that series, and it's focusing more on the beginnings of the sisterhood, as it's known then, come to be known later as the Bene Gesserit, which is a group of highly intelligent, highly trained women who seem to have supernatural powers over and seem to be kind of controlling all the pulling all the strings in the worlds of Dune. To kind of have, control over society.
Kind of witchy vibes.
It is very witchy vibes. What I really like about this show is it's deeply character driven. There's so far pretty interesting plot going on, but you're really already getting to really know deeply who these characters are and what motivates them, which I'm really enjoying. The visuals are great. It looks like of the same caliber as the films. Which is not an easy thing to pull off for an episodic series versus a film.
Yeah, those films look really good, too.
Yeah, they're incredible. And, excuse me, I don't know who the directors are, or who the director was for this first episode, but I thought it was really well shot. The actors are all outstanding. There's a lot of unknowns, at least unknown in the US. The lead actress who is playing the main character, the Mother Superior, I forget what her name is in the show because, again, it's only been one episode and I watched it once last week, so forgive me. But she is really good, and she's been in a few different movies and British series that I've watched, usually playing smaller roles. So I think this is one of her first big, mainstream starring roles. She's an excellent actor. I've been impressed by her already just in one episode. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much to say about it because it's been one episode, but it was really good. I think that if you are into dramatic series, if you're into sci-fi, and of course, if you're a Dune head like Justin and I are, you gotta watch. Really good so far.
Yeah, it's on my list.
To watch more.
I would love to have an episode about the show once more episodes have aired, for sure.
Yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta talk about it.
All right, well, this has been a great episode of Bants, Geoff.
That was that.
Bants. An episode. We did it again.
An episode.
Can you believe it?
I think.
I think it was a pretty good one.
Justin and I just want to wish you all a beautiful, happy, and healthy holiday season.
Spend some time with your loved ones, have some fun, drink some eggnog.
Hug each other real close. Don't let your creepy uncle do it, though. Keep him at arm's length at all times.
Good tip.
Take care of yourself and each other.
Bye. This has been Bants with Geoff and Justin. Bants is created and produced by Geoff Taylor and me, Justin Benavidez. Graphic design by Geoff Taylor. Editing by me, Justin. The theme music for Bants is the track Nebraska With You by Sam Day and is provided by No Copyright Sounds. Email us at bantspod@gmail.com with any questions, recommendations, or just to say hi. If you like the podcast, rate and review us on Apple or Spotify. And tell your friends. Bye.
Bye. I have not watched Shogun, by the way. Did we decide on a topic for when Ben's on the episode?
Yeah, we're not doing Shogun. You said that you were.
What we're doing?
We're just gonna do favorite music of the year, so it'll be like albums.
The beginning
and
of the favorite things.
Right.
These are a few of my favorite things. You have to sing.
I'll think about it.
No, you have to. There's no thoughts.